Hi, I'm Rich, this is Nice Kettle, and thanks for joining us for another unboxing. Don't you just love it when you finally get that call from your AD telling you that the watch that you asked for is in? Don't you just love it even more when that call's 24 hours after the watch that you've asked for has been announced? Well, I got to experience what that feels like today for the very first time. I've been really fortunate. Tudor called me on Friday asking if I would like to buy the Tudor Black Bay GMT Steel and Gold, which was announced at Watches and Wonders earlier this week. I phoned them at 10 AM the day it was announced and put my name down because I want a slice of that 70s goodness on my wrist. Since buying the bronze, I've become a massive fan of two-tone watches or gold watches, anything that's not steel. I don't know why. After buying that watch, I just find steel a little bit dull. But anyway, enough rambling. I'm sure you want to see it. Spoiler alert, it's better looking in the flesh than it is in those renders. So let's flip that camera, get that box open, and let's have a look. So before we transport ourselves back to the 70s and open this box, quick wrist check. I am wearing the Casio G-Shock Jellyfish, which I've had for a little while. Awesome watch, great everyday wear. Might do a review on it at some point, but there's already loads on there on YouTube about it. Anyway, you're not here for that watch. You want to know what's in the box, so let's get unboxing. So we've got the standard white outer sleeve. Let's take that off and do what we do best with it. Get rid of it. Here's the main event. Here's the Tudor box. Fairly standard looking Tudor box, same as any other Tudor that I've had. So let's have a look. Okay, so we've got the normal outer with a little pull down front with the Tudor logo, and then we've got the standard black box inside. So let's take this outer off, get rid of that. So here's the main event. Here's the black box. Inside is the new Tudor GMT Steel and Gold. Are you ready to go back to the 70s? 3, 2, 1. There it is. Look at that. Really, really root beer vibes going on there with that gold and that brown and that dark bezel. So before we take the watch out, what else do you get? Well, you get the normal little compartment. In there's just the extra links that you get from Tudor. Nothing special to write home about. So let's take this out and let's have a closer look. So first thing to say, I have picked this up today. So it is now night, so apologies for the terrible lighting. I'm using every light I can to try and get some decent light in here and film this thing, but I thought that you would just appreciate being able to see it first and foremost. So it's still got its bezel guard on, still got all the stickers on it. Let's have a look. Let's take it off of the holder. There's that clasp. It's the original Black Bay clasp. It's not got the T-fit clasp like the bronze or the Black Bay Pro. Can feel the weight of it compared to the bronze. That gold probably adds a little bit to it as well. Let's take the bezel protector off gently because we don't want to scratch that gold. There it is. You've got a 41mm diameter case as per all the Black Bays with that 14.6mm thickness that everyone seems quite worried about when it comes to the Black Bay Pro. Having worn this, it's really not an issue. It's not top heavy. It doesn't slide around. Okay, so the bezel is a 48 click, 24-hour bezel. It is 18 karat gold, solid gold, and it is bi-directional, and it sounds awesome. Really, really positive clicks. Not very easy to shift by accident. It lines up really nicely at the 12 o'clock position. You've also got the gold crown, which is new on this. That's a gold cap, as Tudor call it, which is basically gold plated. So you've got solid gold here, plated gold on the crown. You've also got here the very first link on the bracelet, this one here, that is solid gold. The rest of it is capped gold. But actually, if you look, I would say it matches pretty well. No noticeable difference between that center link and the rest of it or the bezel. It's a really, really good color match. On the back, we've got all the stickers still. Hopefully you can see that. But we've also got that screw down crown. You can see how it protrudes a little bit. Fairly plainly finished, but very, very nice, fairly standard fare. The clasp, as I said, is the standard clasp. I'll get around to taking these stickers off in a bit. Basically, push clasp, and then you've got the safety catch over the top just to click and keep it all in place. I love it. Hopefully it's really picking it up in this light, but that bezel and those muted tones are awesome. So 70s, very, very root beer. There's some really unique, nice little touches on this watch. Really nice is actually the crown. I didn't really notice it too much in the renders, but it really is cool. Really stands out, really makes it look different. There is no denying which model this is when you look at it. Those tones are muted, but it is definitely a standout piece when it's on your wrist. It's not flashy, but it definitely has a presence on the wrist, a very big presence. It is 41mm, but I think they've done some clever things to really minimise how it actually looks on the wrist and to minimise that thickness. So you've got some chamfers on each side of the case, which definitely make it look less deep to the eye in terms of bringing that 14.6mm thickness down in terms of visibly how it looks. Really, it just evokes the sense of wanting to travel. You want to get away with this watch on. Any excuse to advance that hour hand, which is absolutely brilliantly done by just unscrewing the crown, pulling it out to first position, and then you can jump the local time backwards and forwards as required. You've got the standard bracelet as well. You've got the riveted finish, which I'm not the biggest fan of, but when it's on the wrist you can't actually see it. Got the gold sort of gilt finished hands on there. You've got the GMT hand, the hour hand, minute hand, second hand, all finished in exactly the same way. You've got those applied markers and the date at 3 o'clock, which is really nicely colour matched actually to the loom. Okay, so enough of that. Let's get it on. Let's find out what it feels like. I will be back in a sec with this on my wrist. So that is the GMT on my wrist. Hopefully you can see what I mean. It's definitely got a presence to it. You definitely notice it, but hopefully it doesn't look too flashy. Personally, I think two-tone is going to be much, much cooler and much more on trend over the next couple of years. It's already gathering pace. It's definitely going to gather some more. For me, I just think for quite a large watch on my wrist, 41's pretty big for me. The yellow gold just softens it that little bit, makes it a little bit more warm. Don't think it looks perhaps quite as big as the standard GMT would do on my wrist, just because that yellow gold is softening it. I think it's going to look even better in daylight. Gutted now that I've spent 11 hours in London picking this thing up and got home and it's dark, so I can't really tell you what it looks like in the daylight. Also, can I just say how nice are Tudor ADs? Compared to going into Rolex, it's like a totally different experience. I don't feel judged. They're nice. They actually offer you drinks. They let you try on watches. I'm pretty sure that's what shopping for watches should be like, or used to be like. But it's an experience I've not had for a very long time. So massive, massive thanks to the guys in the Tudor boutique. They were absolutely awesome, as they always are. It's always a pleasure. It feels like a real joy to go there and to go pick stuff up. But anyway, that is it from me. I am going up to edit frantically and probably fall asleep. I'm going to try and get up early in the morning, catch the early sun, get some really cool B-roll of this ready for the review. But that's it from me. Let me know in the comments, what do you think of two-tone watches? Am I being a bit too bling, or do you think they're really cool? Also, let me know in particular what you think of the Tudor GMT Steel and Gold. Really, really curious to see if you guys like it just as much as I do. I know everyone is desperate for the Black Bay Pro, but having tried it on today, I just didn't like it as much. I don't think it looks as good in the metal as it does in the renders. This, on the other hand, I think looks so much better in the flesh or in the metal than it does in the renders. Hopefully my camera's done it justice with my terrible studio lights that keep falling over. But that is it from me. If you've liked the video, please do hit that like button. If you haven't already, please do subscribe to my channel, and I will see you in the next one with a review of this. Bye!